Welcome to the Customizing Culture podcast. I'm your host, Jared Barbosa, and I'm joined today by a very special guest, probably one of my oldest industry friends, people that I've known for the longest time here in my heat press journey, none other than Dannesh Kassamali. How you doing, Dannesh?
Chilling, man. Thank you for having me, Jared.
Dude,
nice to be back.
It is so good to have you here. Yeah, so last time you were here you've probably been on like 2 or 3 Facebook Lives now?
Yeah, we did a live here at your place. Made some boxers and some socks, I think.
Yeah.
Then you guys came to my shop and we did maybe a shirt and a pair of socks live on my Facebook group. So, just kicking it back and forth with y'all.
I love it. I'm really excited to have you here on the podcast because I feel like your story is like really inspirational and I love what you do. I love your business and I think more people need to know so they can get that inspiration and just get out there, man. So really quick, for people who may not be familiar with you or your work, you are the founder, CEO, owner, chief sock master over at Silky Socks. Why don't you tell us a little bit about Silky Socks?
Okay, yeah, sure. I'm Dannesh Kassamali, founder of Silky Socks. So Silky Socks started as an idea of, hey, let's make a blank sublimation sock that we could print ourselves for our brand as well as offer as a blank to the industry. So I was about a few years into this apparel decorating industry and I wanted to get into something that was a little unique. And at the time in 2013, sublimation seemed like more unique than screen printing and DTG and some of the other ones. So I was like, let me go into something where it's a little underserved and the sock itself was underserved for that market. Yeah. So I was like, I would hear complaints like, man, there's no good socks that I can sublimate out here. So then I was like, why don't I address something underserved rather than jump into like silk screening, for example, which was what kind of everybody was doing at that time.
Right.
So that really birthed the idea of Silky Socks. And fast forward 10 years into it, now we're a full apparel line of blanks, still dedicated to dye sublimation, what the sublimation printers can come to if they need socks, t-shirts, underwear, headbands, beanies. So, we're accessorizing a bit and expanding a bit, diversification you can call it.
Sublimation from head to toe.
Yeah, but still staying focused in sublimation. So that's kind of our jam. So if you're a sublimation printer out there and you need blanks, check out Silky Socks for blank socks and apparel, and you will not be disappointed.
Not at all. I've said it a lot, and I know I've said it on the lives before, on like our live streams, but like I'm a Silky Socks user. I'm a fan, and I'm a fan probably as much as a sock as I am of yours. I'm not like saying this to like kiss your butt or anything like that, but like I really like what you bring to the industry because like you have like an attitude of just like, hey, we can all win here. Like where can you like kind of dive into a little bit of like where does that come from? Like I feel like a lot of your personality is in Silky Socks.
Yeah, I think that came from experience because early on I was the opposite. Like I would serve one client and then I would be like, I'd look at his competitor and be like, well, because I serve you, I don't know if I can serve them. Like a small-minded approach.
Yeah.
Or I would be like, no, like you got to be loyal to us, so you got to work with us, so don't work with my competitor. But then over time you realize that these are kind of like very small-minded thinking because you got to work with people and companies and collaborations over like a 10-year period, 20-year period, 30-year period. Like, I started in 2013 with Silky Socks. We're already in 2023.
Dude,
where did the time go?
Happy 10 years, by the way. That's sick.
Yeah. So it's like I can't limit myself by saying, no, I'm only going to work with one group and, forget about everyone else. They're our competitor. No, because next year you might be collaborating with that company or that company or that company. So part of it is just keep yourself open and realize that, the world is big and you could work with everybody. And it's if somebody's trying to tell you, hey, don't work with that person because they're bad or whatever, that's a red flag because now that person's sort of trying to block the person doing the telling. There might be something going on there, Yeah. And actually, when I first started Silky Socks, there was some of that. Like one of my clients that I was serving, I was printing their socks when he found out that we made our own blank socks to sell and print for other companies.
Mm-hmm.
He got a little upset about that. So I had to walk
Oh,
away
okay.
from that. I had to walk away from that relationship in order to serve all the other customers of Silky
At the time,
Socks.
was that a big?
At the time,
Were they a
that
big
was,
client?
they were our biggest client.
Your biggest client?
Yeah.
Oh.
They were actually doing a lot of business with us. So I was a small company at that point. Between Silk Screen Apparel, my first company, and Silky Socks just launching, so we were like a brand new company. We were probably doing about $300,000 a year in revenue between both businesses, and almost all of that was Silk Screen Apparel.
Mm-hmm.
But that one client was responsible for about 1/3 of that. Yeah.
Whoa. So
Yeah. So I had
that's a leap of faith, dude. Like, if you think about it, like you're having to say no to a third of your income in the hopes that the other 2/3 are going to kind of pick up and expand. Was it scary for you?
Yeah, definitely. It was super scary, and I had already seen a few red flags where like it was like, dang, like, oh, don't do this, don't do that, and
Mm-hmm.
I was like, well, how am I supposed to grow if I'm just catering to some kind of move that's like, no, you can't do that. Oh no, you can't do that. Like,
Yeah.
it just didn't feel right, and then but still to walk away from that took a lot of courage and a couple sleepless
Yes.
nights.
I
And
can imagine, because hindsight's 20/20. So now it's like, well, of course he turned them down. He's a huge company now. Silky Socks is so big, right? And yeah, now you can kind of look back and say, oh, that was a smart decision. But I think it's when you're in the moment of those decisions, when you're at those crossroads, like, it's scary, dude.
it was scary. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember giving myself about 2 weeks to kind of think about it because I didn't want to like make a haste decision.
Right. That's so smart.
So yeah, but then those 2 weeks I had a bunch of sleepless nights, and then I tried to use those as indications. Anytime
Yeah.
you're really struggling with something and you're losing sleep over it, you might need to walk away from it.
At the time, were you're already married?
Yes,
yeah,
I got married
but
in
no kids.
2011. No kids.
No
Yeah.
kids. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think, and it's just kind of fun to just play, not just to kind of play these games of just these thought experiments, I should say. Do you think your decision would have been different? Because you have 2 kids now, right?
Yeah.
Do you think it would have been a little bit different if you had already had your kids?
That's a good question, honestly. Yeah, I do feel like once you have kids, you kind of play the more stable game.
Yes.
Honestly,
Oh,
I'm
for
not gonna lie,
sure.
like
Yeah.
you do. So like even me, if I had like a job with a stable, steady income right now, and I didn't
Mhm.
launch my entrepreneurial journey back then and take those risks back then,
Yeah.
it's like it's much harder to once you have kids because
Yeah.
you want that steady income. You don't have
Yeah.
time to like. I went to China in 2012, my first trip there, and spent like, I don't know, 10 days just traveling abroad and going to the trade shows and visiting cities and researching factories, and just like boom, like all I had to do is tell my wife I'm traveling. So yeah,
Yeah.
she stayed here. She was in college at the time, but it wasn't that big of a deal. It was like, just go, book your ticket
Yeah.
and go, you know? And so that was my first experience of learning about sock manufacturing overseas, how the factories work, minimum quantities, meeting factories, dealing with manufacturing. And then some of those relationships ended up turning into orders after that.
I love that. Let's dive into that if you don't mind. So, like, one thing that I like about Silky Socks, I love about Silky Socks, is that you're very hands-on with the product development from inception to finished item in your customer's hands.
Oh, yeah.
So like so you took the journey yourself. You went out there. You personally visited the factories.
Yeah, so I went
Okay.
to a trade show at first, a convention, and at that convention I met a bunch of factories.
Mhm.
And at that time I was just doing research, so I didn't even know that I was going to order socks. It was just, let me check out.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
Okay.
so I checked out hoodies, t-shirts, socks, basketball shorts,
Yeah.
hats, and even they had an office supply section, so I was checking out stuff for my dad, like bags and
Oh, okay.
boxes and tapes. And I was just learning, because
Yeah.
it was a huge convention. It's called the Canton Fair
Mhm.
in Guangzhou, China. So I was like, let me just learn about all this stuff. And then I didn't have any orders. About 6 months later, that one client was like, hey, can you do socks for us? And I was like, yeah, I
Yeah.
can. So then I put together the pieces and placed my first import sock order, custom manufactured for one of our clients. And
Yeah.
then that eventually led to the birth of Silky Socks.
Because there's not really, at the time especially, there's not really a place to get them here in the States. Like, still, like I know they exist, but like they're hard to come by. And I know this
Yeah.
because besides Silky Socks, like, first of all, Silky Socks is the best. Just let you guys know now, all right?
Yeah.
But besides that, if you want sublimation socks, you don't have a lot of choices. And the other choices out there are not that great.
Yeah, the factories that I'm aware of in the U.S. Got to do a little more. Don't quote me on it exactly. You could do more research on your own, but I think they're like in the Midwest, East Coast area, and they'll focus more on socks that are what's that material called? There's cotton and there's acrylic.
Oh, I don't like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, I don't like it, but
So acrylic
heat
is
sensitive.
a little more of basic sock material. It's
Mhm.
probably like the cheaper priced socks you'll find if you go to like a store like Ross or Walmart and try to shop socks or whatever. So they don't make the polyester spandex that we need for sublimation.
Yeah.
So even, and originally I'm from Pakistan. My parents are. I was born and raised here in the States, but a lot of people ask me like, hey, how come you don't manufacture in Pakistan? So even Pakistan is better in cotton. So
Okay.
obviously for socks, you need that polyester spandex. I mean, for sublimation, you need a polyester.
Yes. Yeah.
So then when I went to China, they were just really good at it. They had really good material and experience, and the service was good, the price point was good, the quality was good. So I was like, why switch it? Why not? Like,
Yeah.
let's stick to what's good here. I'm getting what I need. I'm able to serve my clients. The quality's A1. We quality control everything.
Yes.
So, I tried switching one time to Pakistan or Bangladesh, and just from the sample phase, it just didn't work out for us. And then, of course, like the U.S. factories, like you asked about, they specialize in kind of just more acrylic type of cotton socks from what I'm aware.
So just looking out for your customers, just at the root phase, just at the most base phase, customers in mind.
Yeah, you got to give the customer a quality product,
Yeah.
a functional product, and at a good price that serves them. And you lead with that in mind. And then that's why, I rigorously test the wearability. Like, I need to wear these socks. Like, I'm trying to play basketball in these socks. I'm trying to wear them every day. And then printability. So probably, those two obviously go hand in hand because you need printability to sublimate.
Yes.
But I lead with the wearability usually first.
Yeah. Where, of course, and people like may try to sacrifice one for the other, especially if they're just bargain hunting.
Yeah.
And I've been there before where I'm trying to find like a t-shirt, to use for my customers. And I've noticed that when I go bargain hunting, like nobody wins. I guess I won a little bit because I made an extra $1 per t-shirt, but it's not really worth it because it's kind of talking to wearability. Like my customers, they don't stay wearing the shirts.
They don't want to come back or.
Yeah, because if a shirt's not comfy, you're not going to wear it no matter how cool the graphic is on front. If it's not comfy, people aren't going to keep wearing it.
Absolutely.
And if they're not going to keep wearing it, why would they buy a second one?
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah, and 2 points I have there is like sometimes you do like a 10 shirt order or 10 sock order, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
Now you got to think that, hey, that might go to 10 different people. If those 10 people are enjoying it, then that increases your chances that they might tell the friend who placed the order, dude, I love these shirts. I love these socks. Dude, get me some more. Dude, can I get some for my group? And you might have, like, it goes deeper than that one transaction.
Yes.
You need to think that, damn, these are 10 seeds I'm putting on 10 different people's feet or 10 different bodies. So I better like give them something they're going to enjoy.
Yeah.
Right?
That's what, like, to me, there's a place for economy, I guess, but at the same time, like, it just doesn't pan out to me.
Yeah.
The money that you save or that I would save on an order by using a cheap, just bargain blank, it doesn't pan out. It's not worth it for my business at all.
That's good.
And it's funny because you putting words to it, like, oh yeah, because they're gonna tell it's going, and I'm like, oh yeah, that makes so much sense. Like,
yeah, I used to do it 3 ways though. Sometimes I know what you mean. Like sometimes you can't. You have to just, you don't want to give them the cheap option. But the way when I was selling a lot of t-shirts for screen printing, I would tell the customer, okay, so I have my basic option.
You're right.
my mid option, and my premium. Which one would you like? And I'd give them the price for all three. And then I'd let them choose. Because then you lead in the email or whatever quote you're giving them. The basic would be like a Gildan 5000.
Yeah.
The mid would be like an Anvil 980, like that lightweight anvil.
Like the soft.
Yeah, soft style. If they still make that one, I don't know. And the premium would be Next Level 3600 or Bella Canvas 3001.
Yeah.
So now you're giving it to them. Hey, here's three options. You're putting the price of each one, and then you let them decide. So you could do it that way, or you could scratch the lowest option and maybe just give the top two options. Hey, here's a good medium quality. Here's a premium quality. You decide.
That's how I run it myself. So for all my custom jobs, I scratch the bottom.
Scratch the bottom.
Yeah.
That's a good way to do
and that's how I run it. I mean, I'm sure other people, they have, like I said, there's a place for it, and I'm sure other people have found that place. But for me, doing custom work, like, no, it has to be as wearable as possible. And then you're talking about printable.
Yeah.
That's for me. Because, like, especially that's one thing I love about the Silky Socks t-shirts is they're lay flat.
Yeah.
So you don't have the bunching in the armpit.
Yeah.
When you first announced that, the t-shirts have been out for like 4 years now?
No, not that long. Probably 2021.
Oh,
So
okay.
About 2 years.
Feels like I've had them a long time.
Yeah.
when you showed it off and then there was no bunching in the armpit of the t-shirt, I'm like, finally someone figured it out.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, it's one of those frustration points. Like, why do we have to deal with this? Okay, when I develop this, I'm going to address that as concern. So I rounded the armpits. Like, let's just figure this out. Like, let's just try it. So, of course, there was people saying, no, you can't do that. Or, it won't feel good in the armpits if it's rounded like that. But then I was like, let me just try to shape it, and then I'll wear the samples and test it. And lo and behold, tried it, shaped it, explained to the factory in a drawing, like, okay, I want it this way. Got the samples in, put them on, let a few other people try them, and we all felt like, dang, these are actually good.
Yeah.
So then, so a lot of it is, why not us?
Yeah.
Why not us? So back to sublimation blanks, early on in the industry, it was just like some of these blanks that you find, it seems like they're just thrown in there. Like, oh, I can print this, cool. I don't care how the function is. It's not that comfortable, but at least it has a cool, vibrant print.
Yeah.
It's thin and flimsy. Well, at least it has a cool graphic, Yeah. So I was like, okay, I could either wait for someone to come out with a shirt that we all like, or I could just do it myself. So I was like, you know what? No more waiting. Let's just do it. Why not us? Why not Silky Socks? Let's just develop the shirt, address all the concerns. Oh, the shirts are see-through. Cool, I'll make them thick.
Yeah.
The shirts are too rough. Cool, I'll try to make it soft, cotton feel. Oh, the shirts don't lay flat nicely for a nice armpit kind of hit. Cool, I'll make sure these ones lay flat. And that was kind of the three main things to look for.
Mm-hmm.
And then everything else was the fit, and the comfortability, and like just making sure the tech pack was good. Like I had to measure out the sleeves, the opening, the neck height, all that
there's
stuff.
so much that goes into making a t-shirt that people just do not realize.
Yeah, so that was like the first time I was exhaustively setting up a tech pack, actually. So it was a good experience for me, but I'm glad I did it because now I have that know-how, and I was able to shape the shirts just like I wanted them to.
So the shirts, they're truly unique. They are uniquely Silky Socks.
Yeah,
that has to be a good feeling, because like nobody else could get these shirts. They're your shirts. Like, you fine-tuned them, you developed them, like they're your shirts.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a great feeling, and that's a good selling point. Like, if you want this, you got to come to Silky Socks or one of our distributors that carry Silky Socks branded blanks and sell it. It's not like an off-the-shelf you'll just get at like, or even like a Alibaba type of item that you'll just get that's ready-made. It's not ready-made, it's Silky made,
Yeah.
So that's cool. That's a cool feeling for sure.
I love it. Like, I love that there's so much attention to detail, because to me, it just results in a high-quality product. Now, that being said, you cover people from head to toe in Silky Socks. Do you have a favorite blank?
Favorite blank? Good question. It's got to be the athletic socks.
Yeah.
It's just the original product.
That's the baby.
That's the one that birthed us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, baby. And we've developed it in like so many colors now with the interior, the black interior for
Yes.
for dark designs, or like a red foot, red interior, and it's still one of our number one sellers out of all the blanks we carry.
Yeah.
And I wear it every day. So out of all the socks, I'm always wearing the athletic socks. Once in a while, I'll wear the dress socks as well, but and sometimes the streetwear. But 98% of the time, I'm wearing a pair of athletic silky socks on a daily basis. So that's my number one. But the top three that I wear consistently, I also wear the boxers and the t-shirt. So those three you'll find me wearing pretty consistently.
Nice. So one thing that I like about, what I imagine I like about, not imagine like, I don't know how to say this right. One thing that I guess I admire about you is that your business is built around making other people money. If you think about it, because you're selling blanks that are going to get resold. I know you guys do direct, like you offer like custom services, of course. But like selling blanks, you guys sell stuff that makes other people money. That's one of the things that I like about working here at Heat Press Nation.
Yeah.
Because like, yes, we do. Some people just heat press for fun. Most people heat press for money.
True.
And so it's. I think it's kind of cool because for every dollar that we make, somebody's making two.
Yeah.
And so I think that's really cool. Have you ever thought about like man, like my socks are putting food on people's tables? Like, is that like a point of kind of like a point of pride for you? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I really felt that around COVID
Mm-hmm.
because we came out with we were one of the first movers for sublimation blank face masks.
Mm-hmm.
And our social media, especially our Facebook group, Sublimation with Silky Socks, really blew up during like 2020, 2021 era. And a lot of people hit me up the year after saying like, hey, thank you for supplying us with something we can sell during COVID and stay busy with. Then they pivoted to socks, and they continued to sell a lot of socks. And even someone's told me like, thank you for entertaining me and keeping me busy during, like, thank you for showing up here on your group and doing lives, and you kept us entertained when we couldn't go anywhere. And by entertained, I mean, I wouldn't sing and dance for them, but I'd show off the behind the scenes product development.
Yeah. You're definitely the face of the Silky Socks social media, for sure.
And then I would post what I'm working on, and then I'd post how-to videos, and I'd jump on live and make stuff with them.
Mm-hmm.
And that was enough for them to be like, dude, we wanna make money with you. We wanna use your product. We wanna your passion is there behind it. We wanna feel that. And that's when I really felt this business to business thing is actually really cool. Yeah. Because before I used to think like, dang, I want to build a brand that's direct to consumer, that is where the fun is.
Mm-hmm.
And then serving business to business clients where they use the product, resell it, and they come to you for tutorials and advice and even motivation. That's where I really started to feel that. And I was like, wow, this is actually dope.
Yeah.
Like, this is better than the direct to consumer thing. And now fast forward to 2023, we're still pushing the business to business part hard, but we're also bringing a direct to consumer aspect into the content, mm-hmm. where you can customize your own socks using the Silky Socks app.
Mm-hmm.
And we're doing that because of the TikTok and Instagram content we put out that might reach anybody,
Yeah.
So there's so much, a video could go viral and reach thousands or millions of people. So we want to have a presence there, but the cake and the main core business is still supplying sublimation printers with blanks that they can end up reselling. So I enjoy that aspect a lot.
If somebody has, let's just say they have like SG500 or, just the A4 printer, right? This is the regular standard small size printer. And then they have a heat press, hopefully a Heat Press Nation press. But right, they got the A4 printer. They got the 15 by 15 inch heat press. What Silky Socks products do they need to be adding so they could start selling? Like what's going to make them money fast? Not get rich quick. That sounded really get rich quick. Okay. And I apologize. I didn't mean it like that. What I mean to say is like, what Silky Socks products have you found to be just, hey, you guys got to get on this?
You guys got to get on. Yeah, number one would be the athletic socks. It's such a comfortable product, and whoever wears it always is just like, wow, these are actually very comfy and nice and easy and soft and easy to wear. And it's easy to print. Because once you load the jigs on there and you're printing 2 socks, like a pair at once, your printable area is only about 8 by 10. So you can fit it on the 15 by 15 very easily. The other product, I would say, try the t-shirt. Mm-hmm. Now, you won't be able to get an all-over sub, but you can get a nice square sub like I got on my shirt here. And you could do that on the white shirts or the black and white tee.
Yeah. And then I know a lot of people, they think, oh, 8.5 by 11, that's too small for a t-shirt. This graphic is not even 8 by 10. I think it's like 8 wide by like 6 tall or something. Yeah. And it's on a XXX t-shirt.
There you go.
On a XXX, man.
There you go.
Right here. So like it's just really quick, just to your point, like, yes, even if you don't have the all over printer, you could for sure do some damage, make some money.
Oh yeah. I think most graphics are going to be right around that 12-inch wide.
Yeah.
Or less, 8 to 12, and it still looks real good. So a 15 by 15 press can get you a good coverage for shirts with that chest print. Let's see what else. They can do headbands with us. They can do, let's see here. Second.
I know you have the infant socks, which I love.
Oh yeah. Cool. So they can do the infant socks, the headbands, they can even do like underwear, but just not an all over coverage. So maybe you could throw a logo
or like pattern it maybe.
Yeah,
for those.
Pattern it with a white background, something like that. And then once you're ready to step up, I do recommend maybe getting a 16 by 20 or 16 by 24.
Yeah.
From Heat Press Nation, of course. And the 16 by 24, you can do up to an extra large boxer with one press.
Nice.
So I like that a lot.
And we've seen that a lot on your channel. So it's like a lot of people ask, because for the past, I would say like 2-3 months on our Facebook Lives, we were having the 1624.
Okay.
And we get the question a lot, like, what are you doing with something that big? And I'll tell them, like, and live, you hear me say it, I'll be like, there's these boxers that are super cool and you could hit them with one press. And, some of the longer socks, like, they do require, like, pretty big, they have a pretty big imprinter.
Or if you're doing the whole thing. You can do 2 pairs of athletic on a 16 by 24.
Oh, okay.
And you guys are one of the few companies to carry a 16 by 24 shape press, I believe.
Yeah.
And I do like that a lot. So props to you guys for that.
Yeah.
And then, I wanted to drop off some blanks to you guys that you guys can use in upcoming videos and stuff like that.
Oh, bring it on, bro. Yeah? Bring on all the blanks.
I gotta do that. Yeah. I know you guys asked for those, but I figured let me just hook you guys up with a little marketing pack.
Yeah. Oh, heck yeah. I don't know if this is going to make it on camera or on the episode or not, but our sales team, we've been doing we've been all getting super duper hands-on with all the different print process. So we're kind of going through a retraining right now.
Okay.
Where we all know the products. Like, you can call us, give us a call, 800-215-0894. All right. Customers, they can give us a call. We'll be able to like guide them through. But what we've noticed is like over time, like sometimes even me, like who I do this stuff all the time, I'm always heat pressing. I'm like, man, wait, I haven't sublimated a tumbler in a few months. Like, how does it go again? So to stay fresh, the sales team, we're all going through all the different products, the white toner, the sublimation, like we're doing all of it. And so up next for us is we're all taking our re-journey, our retraining through sublimation. So that would be dope. We're all making our own t-shirts and stuff to wear them ourselves.
Okay.
Because I feel like that's really how you know a product. And that's how I know you know your product, because you're always wearing it.
Yeah.
Because like it's when you wear it yourself, and I don't know, would you encourage people, like especially like sublimation pressers, to like wear their own stuff and make their own stuff? Like, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, wearing what you make is super important. I was actually thinking about this morning. I can't sell you something I don't believe in. And nor do I want my employees to fake it and sell it if they don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
That's not going to translate.
Yeah.
If you're putting out a video and it's you wearing it and enjoying it, now you feel good about it. Now that the messaging is more organic, and they're going to feel that, and even if I'm working with somebody who's doing my content for me, or I want them to make something that they like too, or else it's not going to translate. If they're just doing it just to do it and put it out, something's going to get lost in that video, and the passion's not going to be there.
Yeah.
Which also leads to personal branding. So if you want to be a part of your company and have a relationship with your customers directly, a great way to do that is make sure in some of your content you're in there.
Yes, always. So even my friends know if I'm wearing a t-shirt, it's because I heat pressed it myself.
Nice.
Like I totally agree with you on that, where you got to believe in it enough to yourself. Why would I be selling heat press t-shirts if I'm not going to wear it? If I don't like it, why would I, sell sublimation socks if I don't like I know I love them. Yeah. So I totally agree with you on that.
Definitely.
For sure.
And yeah, you could tell Jared's the heat press man. He loves using his heat press and doing stuff. So Yeah, and then another thing about putting a touch of you in your content is, I like to recommend. I know some people are shy and they want to just focus on the product, but my recommendation is maybe do it 1 out of 3 or 1 out of 5 videos.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, so your face doesn't have to be in every post, but if even if it's in 1 out of every 5 posts,
Mm-hmm.
guess what? When someone's scrolling through the timeline, they see like, oh, there is a person behind this. There is a dude or a girl or a
Yeah.
person behind this supporting this that I can stand behind. And man, people support people. It's crazy. And they
For
trust
sure.
people. They
Yeah.
trust people rather than if anytime I see a timeline full of just product, and there's no face there, I don't know if that guy's located in overseas and Asia or scam me or something.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
I
100%.
gotta trust that person that I'm working with.
Yeah, I like saying that, like, if you can't be, and I've said this on our like our lives to our customers, like, if you can't be the cheapest shop in town, that's fine. Be the nicest one. Be the fastest one. Keep some blanks on hand.
Yeah.
Because people, like you said, people like people, and I have customers that they keep coming back to me because nicer than the guy down the street.
They like you.
Yeah, who wants to have a terrible experience every time you have to order some doggone t-shirts? Like, nobody wants that.
Yeah, and I'm trying to improve my storytelling.
Yeah.
So one thing I did this morning was for our next email blast that goes out, and I haven't been doing this for the last few months or years or what, but now I put in a nice long 1 or 2 paragraph story of how that blank was developed. So our next email is, for example, promoting the boxers and underwear because we're running a special on that product. And I told the story of how I developed that blank underwear, and that's going in the email as a written form. So just storytelling, personal experiences help improve.
Yeah, I mean, I see the community you've built with Silky Socks, and I think that like how you do that, how you're a part of the brand, and I think it has a lot to do with the tightness of the community. Like you got the Facebook group, you have like the social media following, and I really admire the community that you've built around Silky Socks. Like I think it's great.
Yeah, definitely. It's fun, man. Just and things are always changing. So now we're navigating with new ways to make content. So it's a daily thing, like daily putting out content on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube with YouTube Shorts.
Do you ever feel like running social media is like a second job in itself?
Yeah, it definitely is, but it's also empowering too.
Yeah.
So I try to look at it positively, like, dang, I have this opportunity to share my message on 5 different platforms every day with potentially thousands of people. So by taking that approach, it helps me have the energy to do it. Because if I take the approach like, oh, I gotta do this damn post today, I got no energy, bro.
That's
I
such
got
a good
no
point.
energy if I do that.
Yeah, you're right, because
I gotta empower myself.
Yeah, a lot of people, I feel like they see it, and even me like that sometimes, like, oh, gotta make a post about it. No, but you're right, having a different perspective can really like influence the content, I feel like, too. So would you say social media has been like a core element to the success of Silky Socks?
100%.
Yeah?
Yeah, because even before you invited me on this podcast, you're checking me out on Instagram. You're seeing me on YouTube. If I wasn't putting out those pieces of content, you'd probably hear about me once or twice through word of mouth over the course of 5 years. But how far does that go? You might see me at a trade show once a year.
That's so true, yeah.
You might see me at a trade show once a year. But to keep the relationship going, little bit of bits and pieces of social media exposure, it means everything.
That's so good. For businesses that aren't prioritizing social media, like, what do you think about that? Like, what advice would you give them?
Find a way to share a little bit of your week. It doesn't have to be so exhausting, but it could that you're like feeling overwhelmed, but share 2 bits of your week, and that's 2 posts a day. I mean, 2 posts a week.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a way. And I do it on a daily basis. I'm doing 2 or 3 posts a day.
Yeah.
But I could see how that's a little exhausting. So give yourself a little grace and just find a way to share a little bit of your week, post it, and see what happens.
Nice. Now, there's something that I do want to bring up. It's so sublimation versus DTF. It's the big convo, man. It's and I know that because we get a lot of calls about it.
Really?
Is sublimation DTF What's the
What's
what
better?
what are your thoughts on that, man?
DTF, I'm not gonna knock on it. It's a great. I love how versatile it is, and you can use it press it on bags and jackets and all colors of hoodies and everything like that. But I don't think it's here to replace sublimation.
No, not at all.
Because I love the feel of sublimation. Like I did a big graphic on a couple DTF shirts. I had a friend of mine make them for me, and as I was wearing them, I didn't love the feel of it. It was a large graphic, so I was like,
Yeah.
dang, it just the material, something about it was off.
Yeah.
But then when I threw on my silky shirt with a big all over dye sub, I was like, wow, this is embedded into the fabric.
Yeah.
So I almost feel like sublimation might be a slight premium and DTF will be the cheaper. It might go that route where if you want an all over dye sub shirt, you're probably paying retail like $40.
Yeah.
If you want a partially sublimation printed shirt on a good quality shirt, you might pay $25. And if you want a DTF, you might pay $20.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's actually pretty solid breakdown. I feel like for me, this is actually probably the biggest thing this is not DTF. This is Supercolor.
Oh, nice.
Huge fan.
Yeah. I
know you like them too.
Shout out to Supercolor.
Yeah. So this is probably the biggest thing I would put on the chest, whether it be Supercolor, DTF, even vinyl. This is probably the biggest it would get for me. Your graphic is I've noticed it's a little bit bigger. I would guess you're probably at like a 12 by like 13 or something like that. Somewhere around there.
Mm-hmm.
I would never do that with anything but sublimation.
Okay.
Like, and then that shirt, like, I'm looking at it and like, there's not a lot of opportunity to, because with white toner, you can kind of like color delete or like do a color knockout to where like if it's going on a black shirt, you knock out the black, right? Break it up a little bit. But for some graphics, especially like what you're wearing, like there's not a lot of opportunity to do that, especially when you have photo quality. For photos in DTF, like you have to print out the solid block, and it's like, oh, that could get heavy.
Yeah, that might feel kind of rough or whatnot, heavy.
We had Chris from Forever Transfers, right? The white toner transfers. I like what he said. He said that it's a preference, not a prejudice. So yeah, if you prefer certain things, like if you like your DTF printer, like go for it. Like you said, we're not going to knock it, but I have yet to find something that's going to replace sublimation. Like with all the technology, all these huge companies putting their millions and millions of dollars into R&D, like no one's beating sublimation.
Yeah, that's empowering, and that's great to think about because I'm also I'm so locked into sublimation. All my eggs are in sublimation.
Yeah.
So I'm like, come on, sublimation. But it's good to hear that. I mean, now do you think DTF is going to potentially replace DTG, or do you think the quality difference isn't enough where DTG is here to stay too?
I think DTG is here to stay. I know a lot of I think what DTF has been doing is kind of lowering the level
barrier to entry.
Yes, that word has been lowering the barrier to entry for people getting like full color graphics on like black cotton.
Yeah. So now any dude with a heat press can just buy transfers and join the game.
Right. But like
more power to Heat Press Nation.
There we go. We're selling more heat presses either way. But I mean like the one thing that like I think is still not there, and you still can't beat sublimation, because sublimation, even if I want huge prints, it's a $1,500 printer, which is not that crazy. If you want gigantic prints on DTF, you're going in like $3, $4, $6 grand.
Yeah.
So to me, sublimation, like all things considered, it's really hard to beat. It's not going anywhere anytime soon, that's for sure.
Definitely. No, I can see this future of sublimation being sort of a premium that if you want great all over print socks, underwear, all over print shirts, you got to go sublimation.
Oh,
and
for
then
sure.
For the partial prints, maybe the sublimation print lovers that love the process and that love the feel of it's embedded into the fabric, they'll continue to push that to their clientele.
Yeah.
So you'll see sublimation stay there, but I could see it not being a presence on the cheaper side. Like, if someone wants a $10, $15 shirt, you're kind of limited. You can't really sub that.
Yeah,
because my blanks alone cost $7 to $8 for good quality.
And that's hard to do even with screen printing. Nobody's screen printing stuff for the $8
cheap.
Screen printed shirt is dead.
It's dead, huh?
It's dead for sure. Yeah, nobody's going that cheap anymore. Even if you are buying 100, 200 pieces, nobody's giving you an $8 shirt anymore. But really quick, just to rewind a second, I love what you said, because it's more than just a t-shirt. when it comes to the socks and underwear, bro, I would die before I wear DTF underwear. Do not try.
Like, scratchy.
Do not try to get me a pair of DTF customized under. There's certain things that I cannot fathom anything but sublimation on under. Like it's just not happening.
Definitely.
Even screen print, because even the best screen print is gonna have a little bit of thickness and weight to it. I don't want that on my underwear. Like there's other things that you carry, like the stretch of like the armbands, right? And then the what do you call the ones that go on the elbow?
So we got the arm sleeves for the elbow.
Arm sleeve. Okay, right. No, then the knee one.
Then knee sleeves, and leg sleeves, and calf sleeves.
For athletes, nobody's wanting to put like anything heavy. It has to be sublimation.
Definitely.
Yeah. So I absolutely dig that. Yeah, sublimation, dude. Everybody I've heard who says, "Oh, DTF is this killer. It's that killer." It's not killing anything, dude. It's a great option. It's not killing anything.
Yeah, and then of course with the industry, some of these technologies have been around for 50 years.
Yeah.
Even screen printing and sublimation, believe it or not, been around that long. So it just evolves, and each kind of niche finds its place.
Yeah.
So.
Dude, well, I've been absolutely loving this conversation, but I gotta know what's the future of Silky Socks? What's the future of Dannesh? You've been on a really steady like growth track. I feel like since I've met you, Silky Socks was popping back then. Silky Socks is popping even more now. It's like, what's on the horizon, man?
Yeah, I mean, to continue to innovate with some more sublimation blank products, that's on the move.
Nice.
So we're looking to, for example, with the t-shirts, we're gonna make some smaller sizes, like a toddler's shirt line.
Yes.
Might get into the long sleeve shirts. And looking into fleece as well, a couple sublimation hoodies.
Okay, heck yeah.
Yeah. So those are in the sampling phase right now. So to continue to release new products for the sublimation print industry, but just not doing it like erratically, like going 100 miles an hour. Just kind of like methodically taking my time, And then continue to see blanks from Silky Socks as your go-to. And we're continuing to innovate there. And then for me personally, Dannesh, just continue to share my story on social media and build out this company as best I can, and kind of navigate through the changes of, 2023, the economy and this and that, just kind of being patient and steady through some of that.
For sure.
But the goal is to continue to build the business and share as I go.
Yeah.
By sharing as I go, a little bit of my thoughts, my motivation, even some of my behind the scenes life at home with my kids, and not a ton of that, but some of that, just so they get a taste of who Dannesh is. That's kind of my approach to try to build like my personal brand as well as the company brand at the same time.
Yeah.
So,
and I got to say, like, in you sharing that, I know me as an entrepreneur, like I'm encouraged by it. And so I know for sure there's thousands of people out there who are taking a bit of your story and being like, hey, I could do that. Like I can grow my business too. So I absolutely love it, man. If people are wanting to know, where can they get that sick t-shirt you're wearing? Where can they get your dope socks? Like, where can people find these awesome Silky Socks products?
Absolutely. You guys know you can go to www.silkysocks.com. You can get all the blanks you need. You can even customize your own shirts and socks there. And follow us at Silky Socks on all platforms. And follow myself at Dannesh K on all platforms, and we'll see you there. I'm excited.
Sick. Well, dude, thank you so much for coming, for being our guest here.
Yeah.
This has been Customizing Culture. I'm your host, Jared Barbosa. Very excited to have had our special guest, Dannesh Kassamali from Silky Socks here today.
Thank you for having me.
For sure.
Love.
We'll see everybody.
See ya.